I'm gonna start in a few seconds. Let me just get the logistics out the way. All right, so let's talk about this. Oh, let me. I've mulled over it all night. You know what I mean? I'm actually rewatching the fight now, and I honestly I thought you could have picked either fighter. You know, Adrien Broner had the better looking punches. But early in the fight, I thought Granados really put the pressure on and really won the fight. But I want to talk about why I made this video. And the reason why I made this video is because I was thinking about what was leading up to the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like all the events that led up to the fight. And one, let's start with the change of venue. Wait, I'm not sure if I'm live. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me out there? Just put something in the comment section if you guys can hear me. So I know, because it's not, I don't feel like it's okay, perfect. Thanks, Hector. So one, the date change, right? But okay, let me digress. I'm getting excited. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. One, now we live in a day and age, this didn't happen in the 60s and the 70s and quite possibly the 80s, where it actually, okay, where you guys can't see me. Let's see it. I don't know why you guys can't see me. I have the camera on. Maybe it's a YouTube thing. I have no idea, but I have the camera on. But where the fighter is actually promoting the fight. And when the fighter is promoting the fight, there is not behind the scenes things that are done, behind the scenes relationships that are formed. So, and what I mean by that is, when you put on the fight, you got to go before the commission. You agree on the judges, you agree on the actual referee in the ring, you agree on the venue. So these relationships are actually formed. So let's say, for example, if there's a man that owns the Cintas Arena at Xavier University, right? I don't know why you can't see me. I have it on the I literally don't know why, but I'll try and fix that later. You guys saw me in the last video, I believe. I don't know why it's not live now. So these relationships are formed, right? And when relationships are formed, they know who's in charge. Adrien Broner is the CEO of About Billions Promotions, right? And so with that being said, he's able to leverage everything that goes on in the fight, right? From the venue to the referee to ticket sales, ticket costs, how much tickets will he release in the Chicago region where people can just pick up their tickets there. Because, you know, when promoters put on fights, they put the tickets everywhere. Local gyms, as Adrien Broner said, at at the clothing store, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But let's get into the more fine details. Adrien Broner changed the date of the fight from, it was supposed to be the same weekend, which I thought would have been awesome for the city. The same weekend as Robert Easter. Robert Easter was supposed to fight on Friday, and Adrien Broner was supposed to fight on Saturday. Right? So now the date changed. I believe the venue changed. Now, the week of the fight, this doesn't happen by accident. This doesn't happen. This shit does not happen by accident. I appreciate Hector. I actually have that in my notes about the scale and everything else. They don't change the weight of the fight by accident. That doesn't happen by accident. Adrien Broner quite possibly could have been sick, or quite possibly could not have been in shape to fight. You understand where I'm coming from? But to change the weight of the fight was pre-planned. I just believe that. I could be wrong, but I genuinely believe it was pre-planned for them to say, you know what? We're going to make this guy bust his ass to get the 42 the week of the fight. I don't know what he comes in the week of the fight, but it's anywhere between 6 to 8 pounds, quite possibly 6 to 10 pounds, right? 6 to 10 pounds, right? And so Adrien Broner wanted him to train expecting to get the 142. Adrien Broner trained expecting to get the 45. You know why I know he trained? Because he's the promoter of the fight. He's the CEO of About Billions, who's laying the contracts for the fight, right? And two, they had a budget for him, right? So let's say, for example, they wanted to pay Granados $300,000. His budget was $300,000. They offer him $150, and they say maybe we'll convince him to take another $75,000 to move up in weight. I mean, yeah, to move the contractual weight. And Granados has basically got journeyman pay. I'm not saying he's a journeyman fighter. He's gotten journeyman pay. And if you see $75,000 for a job, you're going to do anyway, right? It's like changing when your boss, I don't know, I'm hypothetical, but your boss asks you to work Saturday instead of Thursday when you had plans on Saturday to go out. So that stuff, I believe, is planned on Adrien Broner's part. Adrien Gradados obviously was unaware that the fight was going to be at 147, because if the fight would have been at 147, Granados would have trained a lot different, especially the week of the fight. The week leading up to the week of the fight, his miles wouldn't have been his legs wouldn't have been as heavy. What else? His training regimen would have been completely different because he would have been closer to the weight. And I would have believed that he probably was expecting to go in fight week at 150, at highest 152. So that makes only 5 pounds to lose as opposed to 10. And I'm not sure you guys understand the dedication it takes to get on that scale and make weight. It's a grueling and egregious process, you know, and you know what I mean? So I just genuinely believe that a lot of this stuff has been overlooked by fans because we get so submerged into the fight itself. Like me, you know, you wake up Saturday morning, you set your day around 6, 7 p.m. to watch whoever's fighting on Saturday night. And fortunately enough, tonight last night it was Adrien Broner, right? So with all this being said, now we fast forward to a couple of days later. They changed the rounds of the fight from 12 to 10. This was all done the week of the fight. And what that leads me to believe, Adrien Broner, one, is not in shape, and two, they just want to get in and get out and not lean on the levels of his conditioning. Adrien Broner was slanting or leaning the leverage in his favor, right? And all this stuff will never be talked about by mainstream media. It just won't, right? But and then we fast forward to Friday. The scales. Do you think that was by accident? Hell no. If Adrien Broner comes in at 145, right? He can afford 1 more pound. I've seen the scale set up. I've seen the scale set. I've seen them how they actually check it and make sure it's accurate. I've seen all this done, and I would say Adrien Broner didn't do this himself, but I'm saying it was an idea. Say maybe we can get this guy to burn off 1 more pound. We can get him overweight and get him to go up 1 more pound, lose 1 more pound. Go get on the stationary bike, or go run 2 miles upstairs in the gym if he's in a hotel. You know where I'm coming from. So all this is pre-orchestrated, guys. And am I an Adrien Broner fan? That's not for discussion, because I'm talking about the logistics of this fight. And just so you know, so some of you guys might say, "Oh, I hate Adrien Broner." No, I don't hate Adrien Broner, not at all. But my relationship with Adrien Broner is high and low, like everyone else's. 1 week I like him, 1 week I don't like him. 1 week I like him, 1 week I don't like him. He hasn't shown the levels of consistency of an Andre Ward or let's say Sean Porter, for that instance, or one more. Give me one more. Danny Garcia. You know, the levels of consistency of their character. You guys, or Keith Thurman. It's not. You understand? So I just want that to be understood and overstood about what was leading up to the fight, that before they walked in the ring on this past Saturday night. And Adrien Broner won the fight. I have no bone. I had no horses in the race. I'm actually for boxing, for us, you know, for you guys listening to me on the other side of this computer, it's more engaging if Adrien Broner wins a close fight and then has to move up and fight a lion, right? We'll enjoy that, right? Win or lose, we want Adrien Broner in a big fight, because by all accounts, and even Floyd Mayweather has alluded to this, he ain't fought nobody to get them 4 belts. In terms of, you know, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Marvin Haglers, the Thomas Hearns, he ain't went through the gauntlet to get a belt. You know, he hasn't fought. You guys may say Keith Thurman ain't fought nobody, but who in today's boxing, think about this, who in today's boxing has had back-to-back fights like Keith Thurman? He goes from Sean Porter, who is one of the toughest fighters to game plan for, because you have to fight 12 rounds to defeat the guy, and 2, fight Danny Garcia. Who has had a 2-fight combination like that in this day and age in terms of putting fights together or fighting the fight together? So Keith Thurman deserves credit, and now we get to see what Adrien Broner is going to do, because sometimes you rob the bank, then you fight. You rob the bank, then you fight. We've seen what happens to fighters. The greatest example of a fighter who never robbed the bank and got in trouble, Fernando Vargas. Love Fernando Vargas, but he fought too many big fights, consecutive, and we never really got to see how great he could have been if he took some fights off and fought at smaller venues here in LA. Yeah, it is easy, but you still got to take the fight. Remember, he didn't have to take the Danny Garcia fight. He could have fought the guy Lamont Peterson fought last night. So regardless if it's 9-month layoff, 10-month layoff, he still could have avoided Danny Garcia until his next fight. So that's what I have to say about that. But it was an entertaining card last night. Very entertaining card last night. And I'm glad we got a chance to witness it. Al Heyman is doing a really good job with PBC, especially the first quarter of this year. We get fights every weekend. It's like when we were kids and we watch wrestling. We're getting Saturday night main events, remember? Or no, it took the place of Saturday Night Live, and it came on right before Showtime at the Apollo. You guys remember that Saturday night main event when we had the good fights at Saturday? We're getting that every Saturday night with PBC up until March 4th, I believe, and then they take a hiatus. No, because you got Gary Russell March 11th. So, so yeah, so I wouldn't say it's easy for him to do that, because you still got to take the fight, because he could have fought Venetian and then fought a Danny Garcia. But with and keep in mind too, I genuinely believe Al Heyman don't want his fighters fighting more than twice a year. I'm just looking, and I've said this before, because of how his big time fighters fight. They only fight twice a year. Shit, some only fight once a year, you know? And I noticed that in the Lamont Peterson fight. Someone mentioned the ropes. I noticed that about the ropes in the Lamont Peterson. The ropes. Remember, you guys saw in the fight, it was a gaping hole in the ropes. I don't know why, but the promoter designs the ring. You want a big ring? You want a small ring? You want loose ropes? You want tight ropes? I have no idea. But yeah, and obviously the ref allowed a lot of clinching to take place. There was a lot of clinching in this fight. When I say a lot, I mean a lot of clinching. And it worked Adrien Broner's advantage, because when you look at the fight, when you listen to the post-fight, Adrien Broner said of Floyd Mayweather that get off and clinch, get off and clinch. And you guys know Floyd Mayweather is the best. Well, some may say Andre Ward, but he is pretty close to the best at tying up, getting off, tying up, getting off, tying up. So Adrien Broner did a hell of a job at that. So, but I just wanted you guys just to think about the other side of the coin. I know we're focused on what happened in the ring, and at this point, whoever you thought won the fight, because it was that close. You know, if you thought Granados won, you have every right to believe that. If you thought Adrien Broner won, you have every right to believe that. I had it Granados by 1 or a draw. You know, and I'm not a judge. I'm literally like you guys, a fan on Saturday night, watching boxing, flipping channels between the NBA All-Star events and boxing on Showtime. I was literally just like y'all Saturday night. I wasn't at the fight. I wasn't covering the fight. I wasn't emotionally tied to either of the fighters. I just wanted to see a good fight. And let me get to some of you guys more comments too. Politics as usual. The referee let him get away with a lot of elbowing. Yeah, he learned that from Floyd, you know, with the lead left elbow, and throw them short shots to the solar plex like Floyd, and throw them short uppercuts. He's watched a lot of Floyd Mayweather clips of that too. You know, elbow, raise his neck, change the line of his vision, and change the line of his vision so he can't see, and you throw them short shots to the solar plex. You know what I mean? You get underneath his arms, and you throw them short shots. Yeah, Adrien Broner is really talented, for sure. I said in the video this week, between his neck and his waist, he's pretty damn gifted. He's exceptionally gifted between those two. And Eat to Live, you saw the post with with Ellie and AB eating Twinkies. So I did too. I got to go in a bit. But I just wanted you guys to get this video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. But I just wanted to do a live video real quick just to get this. I'm going to separate the videos. I'm going to get to your comments in a section, but I just want to separate it so we can have this conversation. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I appreciate the comments. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.